Wonderful. Wonderful.
He's an artist. Elvis was an artist.
Long after their on-screen liaisons with the King, Elvis's co-stars remember him fondly as charming, fun-loving, and professional. But what everyone really wants to know after all these years is...
What was it like to kiss Elvis Presley? It was neat. He's a good kisser.
It was nice to be kissing someone that you liked and doing romantic scenes with someone that you liked. And then you could both back away from it and laugh.
It was a little simple, innocent kiss, so I don't know how he really kissed. I would imagine he could kiss pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he's kissed real good. And more than that, too.
TNT's special delivery continues next on TNT.
He really had a magic.
You just knew you were in the presence of, you know, the king.
And suddenly this hush fell over the set, and the door to his trailer began to open, and all eyes turned to see the king enter. And I was kind of awestruck, and at the same time, I'm kind of looking at myself going, what's wrong with you, Deborah Wally? You know?
He knew the hold he had over all those women. He really did, and it tickled him pink. You could see it in his face when he performed. I mean, you know, you'd see that smile come onto his face, and you knew he was having the best time of his life.
Love me tender, love me true.
They predict that Elvis Presley will be another James Dean. Now, have you heard that?
I've heard something about it. But I would never compare myself in any way to James Dean, because James Dean was a genius in acting.
Some actors are so driven by ambition that there's nothing else in their life. No, he didn't seem to be driven by ambition.
People all those years always used to say Elvis has more talent than he's given credit for. He could be a big star on a much higher artistic level.
You name me another man and take in 3 hungry children just because they ain't got no place to go and no one to turn to.
He was making a plea to the townspeople and the jury and the judge to keep these children. And the people in the audience were all local townspeople. And they forgot for those moments in that monologue that this was Elvis Presley talking to them. So I thought that was quite a feat. I was very impressed.
Yes, he was very serious about his acting in his movies, but as time went on, they kept getting into the same movie. Different location, different set, different girl, different animal. So he got a little bored with them.
He said to me once, it was probably the only real sad thing that he ever did say to me. He said, I wished I could make one good film because I know people in this town laugh at me.
I don't think any other actor has had the influence on fans that he had. I think that even Marilyn Monroe or Rudolph Valentino, no one has had the following after death the way Elvis has.
He loved to play jokes on the set, and one of his specialties was lighting little firecrackers. And if he wasn't in a scene, I would maybe be doing a scene with somebody, and in the distance you'd hear boom. Cut. Elvis, we're trying to get a scene done here.
He once chased me around the set with a dead, wet fish, but I got him back. I got the fish, and I went after him, and I spilled ketchup on him, and did some bad things.
But each guy had a certain job. One guy would take care of all the transportation, another guy would take care of the wardrobe. Elvis had a lot of people around him. He just wanted to have his friends there, and he paid them just to have fun.
They were always around. I mean, regardless of where Elvis lived, they were always there, 24 hours a day.
He called me Jaws because of my nice fat jaws. And one of the guys, Alan Fortas, used to call him Hog Ears because he had real big ears. And we used to call him Crazy because he was crazy. And so everybody had a little nickname.
It was like having a bunch of puppy dogs around and them all wrestling on the set in between takes. Yes, Elvis would wrestle on the ground with some of the guys.
There was a lot of music. Elvis had his guitar and his cousins. He had lots of cousins. that were there, and they all had their guitars, and his daddy was there, and it was very warm, very pleasant.
Tell me, what kind of a teenager were you?
Well, I was raised, you know,
Yeah.
in a pretty decent home and everything. My folks always made me behave whether I wanted to or not.
He was brought up to be a good Southern gentleman. He would stand up when I would come on the set, and he would say, "Where's Mary Ann's chair?" And one of the boys one time said, "Damn," in front of me, and he said, "Never cuss in front of a lady."
One expected him to be tasteless and loud and vulgar. He wasn't any of those things. He was lovely. He had such manners.
And a lot of the directors, the older guys, would say, "Please call me like Norman Torog. Call me Norman." He said, "Yes, Mr. Torog."
Well, thanks, ma'am.
I think, considering the position that Elvis was in, he probably had more humility than any star I have ever encountered. I think it came from his background, probably from his upbringing, his closeness to his mother, being from the South.
Oh, make the world go away.
He had a charisma, an aura about him. He was the king. He's still the king.
Some people set out to make changes or to create a new approach. He didn't. He just did it, and it became that way.
And so he gave, I think, a beautiful gift, you know, to the planet.
Well, I want Elvis to be remembered for what he did in this world, not what he did to himself, okay? He never hurt any other people. He hurt himself. There was bad times, but the good times outweighed the bad times, 80 to 1. So that's how I want to remember them. He made a lot of people feel good.
Everybody let it rock.